Well, bonjour, bonjour, comment allez-vous? Hey, how is everybody? We hope you're doing great, but as you know, we're here to make your day better. But in our usual fashion, the first thing that we do, we have to toast up. So hopefully if you've been here before, you already know the drill. But here's to everybody on the line. Hey, Juana. Hey, Pedro. All right, all right, all right. Hey, Miss O'Neill. Hey, we hope that everybody's had a good week so far. We got some amazing things happening with We Talk, both professionally and also personally. So we're happy that things are happening the way that they should be happening. But if you're going through anything, just remember, things are going to get better. Only thing you got to do is hang in there. You never know until you're at the end. And we're never at the end. All right? Okay, last week we talked about do you have to be compatible to have a successful relationship? And I think the takeaway from that was that you have to understand what compatibility is. Compatibility is not being just like someone else, but it's more about being able to tolerate the other one's differences. But if you missed it and you want to check it out, it's posted on my Facebook, all right? But without further ado, let me bring my co-host on because we got a good one tonight. And we're going to be talking about, do you have to become uncomfortable to reach our full potential? Now, Miss O'Neill and Keith will tell you that's my favorite word right there, being uncomfortable. I think we all have to be a little uncomfortable to get to the next level, or else we just stand still. But anyway, we're going to discuss it, and it's going to be a great one. So y'all hold tight. Go ahead and nurse those drinks for a little minute, and we'll be right on to this topic. Hold on. Man, it's a lot of folks in here. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Abwan. Hey, J Dizzy. All right. Man, we're so glad that all of you are here because you could have been anywhere else, but you're here with us. We certainly appreciate it. One new message. All right, it says that Princess Miss O'Neill is unable to go live. But anyway, we're going to talk about it, and when she's able, she'll join right in. But again, I hope everybody's doing well, man. And we mean that from the bottom of our hearts because we love to see people prosper and do well, okay? And of course, let me give the disclaimer. Anything that we talk about is basically based on our opinions, our experiences, and our research. So don't try to sue us anything, any of that nonsense. We have a healthy discussion. We stay away from politics and all of that other nonsense. There's enough out there for everyone. So we're going to do it our way. Okay, let's get on to it. Let me wet my throat real quick. So the question is this: why is it important to become uncomfortable to reach our full potential? There's a reason for it. Or do you believe that you don't have to become uncomfortable to reach your full potential? Now, you may believe that. I'm getting all of these messages. Hey, I'm trying to answer everybody, or at least read it. So let me But I'm gonna have to read them a little later. But I know people are waiting for our discussion to get started, so I'm gonna go ahead and get it started. So again, the question is whether or not we need to become uncomfortable to reach our full potential. This is my personal and my professional opinion. It is impossible to reach our full potential without becoming uncomfortable. It is impossible. I don't see, and maybe someone on the live who's got some clinical expertise can kind of change my mind, but based on what I know, it is impossible to reach your full potential without becoming uncomfortable. Now, why do I say that? If we never become uncomfortable, we never challenge ourselves because we remain in the same position. We never challenge ourselves if we don't become uncomfortable. Now, the fear or the thrill of the unknown the fear of the unknown always drives us to experiment with something new. If we don't know the outcome of something, we experiment to see what the outcome could possibly be. All right? First reason is if you don't become uncomfortable, you will never leave the position that you're in. You will never leave the position that you're in until you decide where you'd rather be. All right? Y'all bear with me. I'm trying to bring my co-host on, so if I can find him. All right? Yeah, but just think about it. If you don't become uncomfortable, we will never leave the position that we're in. Hey, Keith, what's going on, boss?
What's up, OG? What's going on?
Oh man, we're just doing what we do, man. I don't know if you just joined in,
I
but
just joined. I just joined. I said I was gonna call you the last couple of days. Yeah. I've been being tested to the full limits of what it is. But you know what? Hey, this is what we do. So it's real lot. So look, I like I said, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. We're gonna talk offline.
Okay.
Everything is good. Everything is good. It's nothing like I'm calling you and say, "Oh, Mr. G." No, I'm just saying it's just amazing how the universe and everything works and tests actually what it is that you choose when you say you know what you are and what you want to be and what your purpose is and how you get tested, kind of.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of like, so I heard part of the last part of what you were saying, but I
Right.
could tell I'm probably somewhere in the room. I'm kind of in the, I'm warm. I might not be hot, but I just came
Okay.
and heard. Yeah.
Well, first of all, let me say this to you when when you're tested and whatnot.
Yes.
There's never a victory without the struggle.
Yes.
So there's never a victory without the struggle.
Yes.
So when we struggle, man, we already listen. The way I look at it, I know I'm on to something. When things start getting a little difficult, I know I'm on to something, and that's all the motivation I need.
And that's what we're gonna talk about because there's some things that I'm on to. Like we're just, hey, yo, Mr. G, are you a fly on the wall, man? What is going on, man? This is crazy.
I'm just telling you,
I'm
bro. I
on to
have
some
been through
things right now, and I'm saying why all of a sudden is the new things I'm on to that was already. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's like the conversation we had a little while ago, where some people just don't want to accept you as the leader, you know, and you just got to navigate these things, and you actually learn a lot about yourself. You learn that even more so, and this for people on the live, it's probably kind of off, but is
Right.
not off, but it is. You learn a lot about yourself when you deal with people because nobody is going to change on their own, and you can't make people change.
Right.
So,
Right.
so in situations, whatever it is, ultimately at the end of the day, You have to choose whether you want to be right or you want to be unified. And if you want to be unified, it's about your personal peace, your spiritual peace, and everything else that goes with it, because you can't give it to someone else to control it. So, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say this, Keith.
Go
This
ahead.
is the motto that I live by. It's always, and my kids, they'll tell you, and I know they get tired of hearing it, but it's better to maintain the peace than to
Yes.
be right.
There you go.
You know, I'll let some listen. See, when you're choosing to be right, that's where you have disagreements, and that's where you have altercation and things escalate. I choose my peace over all of that. So if you want to be right, you know, because one thing about the truth remains the same. No matter what we do, nobody can change it.
Yeah.
So why am I arguing with you? You saying, oh, it's on the left side, and I'm saying, no, it's on the right side. I just passed it. And you believe that you're right. And if it's on the right side, that is the truth. And it's going to be there on the right side, no matter how many times you call it left. So I don't get into that, Keith.
I'm with you.
It wastes too much energy. You could be doing something more gainful and more valuable in your life.
Exactly. That's and that's why me and you were so. That's exactly what I was saying when I said to people on the live, don't waste your time on that part of it, because that's exactly what it is. You, like you just said, you could be blind to the truth, but the truth is not blind to you, and that's for real.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, you know, like I said, when I said I just want to clarify. No, everything
And
good.
look, it don't change because of who you are. A lot of people with status and with money and with all of these different things, they think that the truth changes because of their status. The truth doesn't change because you're rich or because you're an athlete or because you're a celebrity. The truth is still the truth.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, Mr. G, yeah, go ahead, break it down. I want to hear what your the topic is. I want to hear go ahead, break it down.
Yeah, I might run for president. I hear Donald Trump saying he might go to Israel.
Oh, I'll support you. Let me know. Let me know when you're running. I'll be down. I'll be down with the campaign.
Yeah,
we get Mr. G in. You know what I'm saying? Look, I take you over Stephen A, even though I like Stephen A. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know you personally. Like, I mean,
but the bottom line is, bro, when you get to that part, you got no privacy. And I'm a private individual.
I know you being funny. I already know you ain't running for no president.
Man. Hey, I back whoever, and I give them all.
I already know you ain't running for no president. Just like I wouldn't run for no damn president or nothing. Hell no. They can have all that.
Hey, DeGeorgia, you got in?
I mean, I don't know what's going on. I know it's storming over here off and on, so it's been kind of crazy. And we got
crazy storms out here, DeJoya, right now. It's thundering, lightning, all types of it's torrential rains. It's crazy out here right now. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, we're supposed to be getting rain. I don't know about any severe weather, but you know. Hey, we protected. It don't matter.
It don't matter. Yeah. The one thing about our area, we don't get all that hail and all that crazy stuff they be talking about sometimes. I pray for the people in the Midwest sometimes when they talk about like the tornadoes and the hail. And I'm like, wow, it's crazy how in America, depending on what part of the area you live in, like how the storms hit. It's crazy, man. I'd be like, wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get on because I know these people, all of our viewers, and we love that all of you are on. We appreciate it all, and we love all of you. But anyway, we're talking about whether or not it's necessary for you to become uncomfortable to be successful. And I segue into the fact that I believe it is ultimately impossible for you to be successful if you don't become uncomfortable.
Say that again. The topic is, say that again. Let me make sure I understood what you just said, because I'm looking at it like, say that again.
Is it important,
right,
to become uncomfortable,
right,
to reach our full potential? In other words, is it necessary for us to become uncomfortable for us to reach our full potential? We're not just talking about being successful. We're talking full potential. And some may believe it's not possible. I'm going to give examples as to why I think it's impossible to become successful at your highest.
You go ahead and just break it down. Let me know when you want to chime in or something. I'm going to be quiet. You go ahead, break it down.
All right.
I'm going to be quiet. Go ahead.
All right. So as I said, I believe it is impossible. And the reason I believe that, as I said earlier, is because we do not challenge ourselves by remaining comfortable. If you're comfortable, you're not challenging yourself to do anything different. You're comfortable. You become complacent and you stay in that same position. One thing about life that we all know, the fear or thrill, the fear or the thrill of something unknown, it always motivates us to try something and experiment with something new. If we don't know the outcome, and even when we think we know, we can do something 100 times, and on the 101st time, the outcome may be different. So we never know for certain what the outcome is going to be. So if you're not uncomfortable with the unknown, and you're a different kind of breed, you're made a little different way. Because I'm always uncomfortable, because that certainty, that's what we all hope for. We want to be certain. When we attempt to do something, when we get involved with a relationship, when we go get the new job, when we do all of these different things, we want the certainty of what our expectations are. So you can never know for certain anything. You can never know anything for certain. I'll argue if anybody disagrees. Just make your comments, because I can prove you're wrong. We don't know anything. And that's the excitement about life. We don't know. We don't know if we're going to wake up tomorrow. We don't know if that tree in our backyard is going to die or tumble over. We don't know whether or not the car is going to start. I don't care if it's brand new. We don't know. All right. So the other thing is, like I said earlier, you won't leave the position you're in. One thing about humans, and I'm not slighting anybody, I'm just making a fact of knowledge that I know. We all want things easy. We all want things easy, and rightly so. We don't want to be involved with difficulty if there's an easier way to do something. So we want things easy. The issue is the people that don't understand the theory of being uncomfortable. You don't ever know anything new by staying in the same place. So if you're not willing to be uncomfortable, you aren't willing to succeed. It's simple as that. Now, some of us know how to become uncomfortable, and we wear it well. We can deal with it. You know, when you're talking about being in military service, when you're on a combat field and a combat zone, you don't know what's going to happen. You understand? But you have the wherewithal, and you have the commitment, and you have the pride and the confidence in yourself to kind of tip the scale into your favor to know what the outcome may be, as percentage-wise.
Yeah, that military stuff is next level, Mr. G. So once again, thank you for your service. And you know what's crazy is that, ironically, sidebar real quick. So all the stuff where I told you my dad was ex-military, he passed away. So all the headstone stuff, everything through the military, we did all, you know, everything is lined up. We about to have like some type of ceremony on Sunday. So it's like, yo, all y'all military people, Appreciate you. Thank you. That's what's up, man. Like, yeah. That's there's no comparison to that when you talk about putting your life on the line. So I just want to clarify that for you to give you and everybody else your flowers and other military people that might be on this live. Thank you for your service and thank you for your sacrifice because that is real. That's the biggest sacrifice. You sacrifice your life for people that you don't even know.
That's the ultimate sacrifice. When
Yeah,
you
for people who don't
live
even
your
know.
life.
Yeah, for people who don't even know.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So I and we can debate it, discuss it a little later on, but I don't believe that you can reach your full potential without becoming uncomfortable. This is what I do know. Becoming uncomfortable to realize our full potential means that in order to reach our highest capabilities, we need to step outside of our comfort zone and we need to embrace situations that feel challenging or uneasy. And that's why I mentioned a moment ago, everybody wants to be comfortable. Everybody is that familiarity where it feels good. You know the likelihood and the probability of what's going to happen. That makes you feel good. That removes any doubt. That removes any necessity for you to try anything different because you're comfortable. Now, so we need to step outside of our comfort zone. And I'm talking to people from the lowest level to the highest. You have to step outside of your comfort zone in order to reach your full potential. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that you can't be successful by staying right where you are. If that's your goal in life, to remain in a comfortable position, then so be it. But we're talking about maximizing your potential and reaching a level of excellence outside of what you're normally accustomed to. Now,
Hey, Mr. G, can I say something real quick?
yeah, go ahead.
You just said something that made me just say that. When you say excellence,
Right.
I don't think a lot of people understand what that means. Excellence means that you care about what you do when nobody's looking. So when nobody is looking and nobody's around, you care so much about doing the things the right way and being a congruent person, which means your words and actions match, that what you do when no one's looking at you matters almost even more than when people are looking at you, because that's the stuff that people can't gauge. But you know what,
Absolutely.
Mr. G,
Hey, Keith, let
go
me interrupt real quick.
Go ahead, break it down. Go ahead.
I want to, no, it's not that. I want to thank Fox News for joining us tonight. We've got
Fox News.
Yeah, we've got Fox News on tonight. And thank you for joining us. And I hope you enjoy it. But go ahead, Keith. I just wanted to shout them out.
Wow.
Real quick. I saw it come
Thank you, Fox News. All I was saying is that very simple. Those things are very easy to see, and you have to gauge it based off of that. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But see, the main point that I'm trying to make is this. It's very simple. It's easy to be successful when we're comfortable. It's easy because we are not reaching for anything other than what we're already accustomed to. What we're talking about, when I say reach your full potential, that pushes you past your comfort level. That pushes you to a degree of uncertainty where you have to walk on faith. We got all of these people that really say, I believe I can do this and I can do anything and all of these different things. And I'm saying that's not true when people use it as loosely as they use it. If they really understand what I'm trying to say about your full potential, then you have to go on faith. Because again, what did I just say? There's nothing that we're certain of in this world. We don't know anything. I'll say that again. We don't know anything. So when we get all these scholars and all these people who think that they are brilliant minds, now don't get me wrong, there are people who have studied, there are people who have hypotheses, There are people who are trained who understand certain things that the ordinary person would not understand. But their training leads them into probability. What are the possibilities of this? It doesn't mean that it's a matter of fact. If that's the case, we would never have a space shuttle blow up. If that were the case, we wouldn't have to have wars. And if we did have war, we would know the victor from the beginning. That's all I'm saying. Miss O'Neill, you got anything you want to add?
Okay. Okay, so here we go. To be successful is one thing, but to be successfully, exceptionally successful is another. Because we can succeed in a lot of things, but to actually appreciate something and make it a continuous success and make it stay, you have to be uncomfortable because you have to know what it's like not to have it.
You're
Because
very
people
choppy.
have it all the time, they don't know how to deal with it. People, I told y'all the storm.
Yeah, she's super choppy. I can't understand what she's saying.
Yeah,
You
you're
have to know how to
choppy
deal
right
with
now.
it.
She might need to go out and come back in.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me try to go back
Yeah,
out
we
and come
can't.
back in again because yeah.
Yeah, we can't understand anything that you're saying, DeJoya.
Okay, so here's the key to it all, though. If you want to be average, then we're not talking about reaching full potential. If you want to work on one particular goal and you have that goal set in your mind and you achieve it, and that's what your goal was, that's different than reaching your full potential. Your full potential is when you get to a point in your life where you're attempting to do something that you've never done before, and you become successful because you had the courage, you had the fortitude to examine something that you did not know and make that attempt. So if we make that attempt, and even if we fail, we are striving toward our full potential. Listen, so we know, or if you don't know, based on what I just said, we know that you have to step outside of your comfort zone in order to reach your full potential. Personal growth only happens when we push past familiar boundaries and confront new experiences. Let me repeat that. Personal growth only happens when we push past familiar boundaries. That's that level of comfortability. And confront new experiences. That's what personal growth is. So if anybody told you anything different, they don't know. All right? Now, there are some key concepts to, working past our comfort level and reaching our full potential. Growth requires discomfort. Stepping outside your comfort zone is usually associated with some level of discomfort, anxiety, or uncertainty. When you step outside of your comfort zone, it is usually associated with some level of discomfort, anxiety, or uncertain news. Uncertainty and something that's new. That's what I meant to say. But it's necessary to develop new skills and reach your full potential. There's no way around it. As simple as that. Now, we all have to learn to embrace challenges. We have to embrace challenges. Just because something is
Say that.
difficult.
Say that. Say
Yes.
that again. Say that again.
Yeah, we have to embrace challenges.
Yeah.
Listen, Instead of avoiding challenges or situations that seem challenging, we have to actively seek them out as, let me say this word real loud, we have to seek them out as opportunities. We have to seek new challenges, embrace them, and look at them as opportunities, not the opposite. This allows us to learn and grow. It's the difference between living and merely existing. A lot of people are existing in this life. What are you doing, or what are we doing to enhance our lives? Of course, we all got the 9 to 5s. We all got our standard routines. But we're speaking to those people who are interested in working to their full potential. What are we doing different that's going to enhance our lives today that we didn't do yesterday? That is the only way that we grow. Go ahead, Keith.
Mr. G, all I can say is this, is that I learned how to be comfortable in the uncomfortable, and that's different for every person. And I think what most people need to realize is that what we're talking about is when you figure out your own path, when you figure out your own way, when you say, this is the direction I'm going, and I don't care what anybody else says, if I'm by myself, this is where I'm going. That's what we're talking about. Because as soon as you choose that direction, as soon as you say, I'm going to follow Supreme Architect, it's amazing how all the negative seems like it comes. But the reality is the negative was always there before. So what a lot of people don't realize is they get psyched out, right? They think that now this is something new. No, you've navigated this since you were a child. Because negative is automatic. So it's all about perspective. So now when you claim these higher levels and you say this is where I'm going and these things happen, why do you take it as, oh no, this is that? No, it's just like Biggie said. I hate to use hip hop, but I don't hate to use it because hip hop is who I am. But anyway, let me take that back. Biggie said, more money, more problems. The higher levels you go, there's more problems. And the problems, it doesn't mean that people think more money, more problems means like tomorrow you're going to lose it all. No, you're just at a different level now. And here's the thing in life. No matter what your mentorship is, and if your mentor is like a guy like Mr. G, who's like ahead of you, he's at different levels. When you get to certain levels, it's new. So you can't know what to be or how to handle it. But if you are right as a person and your spiritual is right and your heart intention is right, all the things that we talk about, then that's when people can actually give you a little bit of trust because they're saying, you know what? That person has it down. It's not about the money. It's not about the diamonds, the gold, the wealth, the this, the that. It's about who you are as a person. So when you're living uncomfortable, when you know who you are, you're not going to take the easy way out because you understand that this is what is supposed to happen to you. As Job said, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Right? Go ahead, Mr. G.
Let me say this. I know there are a lot of people who are living lives that are pretentious. Plenty people with money. And as I say before, money without time is nothing, and time without money is nothing as well. But when you get past all of the camouflage, all of these pretentious things that makes a person who they are, when you strip all that away, all you have left is yourself. So as Keith just eloquently said, what it is when people of wealth or when people are successful, they don't look for more people with more money. They look for good people so that they can teach, that they can mentor, that they can bring along because they can trust them with the secrets. And I say secrets is because it's foreign to people who don't understand. All right. Hey, Mountain. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Tamika. It's foreign to people who don't understand.
Mr.
Hey,
G, we about to have a whole bunch of new followers. Don't tell all the secrets on this live. Let's break it down.
you got that right. Hey, we got Fox
Yeah,
News in here, so
yeah, they don't know you. Like, oh, Mr. G about to drop it on y'all. Go ahead, Mr. G.
Absolutely. So, we just have to keep that in mind. At the end of the day, it's your heart condition, is what you represent as an individual. We're all forces of energy, and energy, unlike our emotions, can be felt. We can hide our emotions all day long, but energy, people can sense that when you walk in the room, whether or not it's bad energy or good energy. So it boils down to what type of person you are. So in order to become become a better person and reach our full potential, it causes and it takes a mindset shift. We have to change our mindset. We got to remember, listen, all of these habits that we've been taught and all of these things that we believe, whether or not we examine for the truth or not, they've been with us for a long time. So everything that you believe, every practice, all your customs, all of these things, they've been with us for a long time. Now, I believe when you become of age, you have the responsibility to find out the truth. And you find out the truth by due examination and lawful communication. You have to find out the truth by doing your research yourself. Don't take your parents' word for it. And trust me, I'm not saying that your parents did anything wrong or that they deliberately led us in the wrong direction. Most of them did very well, considering the circumstances in which they were involved with. So I'm not slighting them at all. Matter of fact, I love my parents to death. My father's deceased now, but my mother's still alive. And I love her to death because they did very well with us.
There you
But
go. The
I'm
same thing.
saying
Yeah, there you
all
go, Mr. G. Yep.
all of those things that we were taught, we didn't know, of our foot from a hole in the ground until we were taught. So once we learn certain things, it stays with us for a long time. So to elevate and get to a different place, we have to change our mindset. We have to shift the way that we think. We need to shift our mindset from fearing discomfort to seeing it as a positive catalyst for personal growth and personal development. Let me read that again. We have to shift our mindset from fearing discomfort to seeing it as a positive catalyst for personal development.
Mr. G, that's fire.
Oh, yeah.
That's fire. And you know what? Let me say this one thing. Whatever keeps you up at night as a person, and you're saying, I should be doing that or doing this, that's exactly what you should be doing because your peace is on the other side of that. A lot of people don't realize that peace is also about you moving in the direction. Because look, Mr. G, one of the best books I ever read, and I'm a reader,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
As the saying goes, leaders are readers, but all readers are not leaders, right? So everybody on live, you heard that. Me and Mr. G know this already.
Oh, yeah.
Readers are leaders, but all readers are not leaders, right? In the sense of, you know what I mean? So when you read, one of the best books I ever read was Joyce Meyer, Battlefield of the Mind. And the only reason I say that is because that book challenged everything that I thought that I already had mastered. And
Absolutely.
when it said Battlefield of the Mind, I'm saying, and at the end of the day, I'm not promoting, I'm not any of these things. I'm just saying, as personal growth, you go through certain things, and there's certain things that you remember that were part of your movement to where you get to, and you're saying this book, these book, and all it taught. Listen, at the end of the day, most people, their minds are so busy that what they pray for, they're actually not hearing what the supreme architect is giving to them, because it's all there. The frequency is there. So if you're on a frequency, it doesn't go off and on. It's not like a faucet you turn off and on. The frequency is
Right.
always there, right, Mr. G? So the frequency
Absolutely.
is always there. So if you're not open where your mind is connected to connect to the frequencies, you got them antennas in your brain. No, you're not going to connect, but other people are going to connect. And then you're going to say, well, why is that guy or this person or that woman, they're blowing up, they're doing this, they're doing that? Because they're connecting on the frequency that you said you were connected to, but you didn't do the work to stay connected to it, because the work is making yourself worthy, right? And the Bible says, above it, beloved, above all things, I want you to prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. So I'm just saying, I didn't mean to say this and get biblical, but how do you, so if your soul, so is your soul prospering? That's what he said in the book. So if your
Absolutely.
soul's not prospering, how do you really expect to prosper long term? And those are the things that, as a kid growing up, I thank God that my people, my parents, were in the Bible, church, all that. I take that stuff serious, Mr. G. I'm
Hallelujah.
scared to not be spiritually right, because I already know what happens when you sow the certain seeds you're supposed to sow. But go ahead, Mr. G.
Absolutely. Hey, Lady T, and hey, Ron. Listen, I put a Facebook post up earlier this week. I said, if God did not want, and I'm not going to get biblical either. I just want to kind of capitalize on you bringing it in that way. But I said, if God didn't want you to have everything that you want, why would he give you everything that you want? Now let this marinate like neck bones for a minute. If God didn't
That's
want you
deep.
to have
That's deep.
everything you
That's
want,
deep.
why would he give you everything that you want? Everything that you want and need is within your grasp, is on this earth, right? So let me break the code for you. Because I know there's some people who are interested in knowing why they haven't reached their glory, or why they haven't prospered, and they've prayed and they've tried and they've done all of this yumma yumma yumma, all of this good stuff, and still in the same place. Let me tell you why. The reason that people are not successful, and the reason that they can't get everything that God has for them, is because they believe half-heartedly that they're entitled to it. If you really start talking to people, as I do a lot of counseling, Masonically, I do a lot of lectures and whatnot. I just did 2 elementary schools last week. So when you start talking to people, you understand that they're their worst enemies. You talk to people and you can see in their eyes that they don't believe that they deserve certain things. Now, and I'm saying that because I believe that they feel this way because of the trajectory of their lives and where they've been so far. They can't see on the other side because they have so much in front of them that's preventing them to seeing what the goodness and what greatness is available. I just wanted to point that out. You have to be able to see it, and you can't half-heartedly believe that you're entitled to it. For all of my Christian folks out there who says God and Jesus will provide for you and all that, you don't really mean that, because if you did, you wouldn't worry. You know what I'm saying? Because if you believed it, you would not worry. We know
Oh my
some
goodness.
of us who've elevated spiritually and have a direct connection
Oh
with God
man.
and belief in God, we understand that worrying is a tool of the devil.
And I
So
never worry. I never
yeah,
worry.
even if things don't go your way, there's no need to worry.
Things are not going my way right now while I know it's alive right now as we're talking. That's the realest as it gets. Like the Joy here
Right.
talking about the pots and pans. I'm saying, and it don't matter. I'm not even phased though. This is the
Yeah.
thing, Mr. G. I'm not phased by it.
Right.
And this is exactly what you're talking about. So how the rappers, people come on talking about my bars is real life. Hey, my bars is real life too. I can write stuff too. I got to write stuff. But anyway, I'm just
Oh,
telling you, it doesn't matter what you're going through when you know what side you've chosen. And when you chose the side of success is a journey, that's it. You don't need validation. You don't need other people to ride with
hey,
you.
say that again, man. My Lord.
Success is a journey. And when you choose that side, you don't need validation. You don't need people to ride with you. You don't care if this guy, whoever, that guy, that girl, it doesn't matter because the decisions I'm making are not based off y'all.
Right.
And when the saying that we say, here's the thing, Mr. G, and you and me are in the same, many are called, few are chosen.
Yeah.
So when you're chosen, you start to network with the people that are at the top level, as it says in the Bible, even in Proverbs, that, the man is meeting with the kings and the leaders. And here's the best part about it. You didn't know that was what you were chosen to do. You kind of stumbled into certain things because you were chosen and pulled this direction, that direction. That's how I got into commodities, and that's how I met you. And I'll never forget it. And there's nothing anybody can say. I met you by accident, and you know it too. We met by accident, Mr. G. So now, how did all this connect? It connected because you were on your path. I was already on my path. You ain't letting nobody into your network. Let's keep it real. Ain't nobody getting into the Mr. G network at this point. Anybody on the live, you're not getting in there. It's not gonna happen. And I'm trying to tell y'all, it wasn't an accident, but it was an accident. And I'm so blessed. But it's because of the seeds that we're talking about that when you know what it is you're supposed to do, you can't base your movements the next day off of how you feel, how it looks, and what the result is. Because if you can wake up tomorrow and you didn't go nowhere yesterday, and you wake up tomorrow and you don't go nowhere again, and you do the same thing again the third day, and you still did as what you can see physically, and you keep going, now you're on the path to what Mr. G is talking about of that greatness, because it's just so much mentally, Mr. G. And I think that's the part that people don't realize. And you've done it. You've done it. You were entertaining high level, your daughters, your family, you manage people. People don't really understand, Mr. G, and that's another lie. The mental capacity that you have to be able to take all that on. And that's the stuff that I learned from you. I think I'm going through something, and then we talk. I'm like, oh, well, oh goodness. No, that ain't nothing.
Hey,
Yeah.
but see, that's what's necessary in your life so that they can keep you going. Listen, when people face hardships, it's easy for them to be deterred and get turned around. But if you really have the faith and you have the belief in what you're doing, and you believe the people who are put in your life, because I'm like you, there's nothing We met by accident, but there's nothing coincidental. There's a reason that everyone meets everyone in their life. Either what they say, either is a blessing or a lesson, one or the other.
Yeah,
So,
Mr. G, and you have been a blessing, and I thank you all the time, for real.
oh yeah. Because check this out. This is what I want people to understand. So we do things based on probability when we're comfortable. We do things based on probability and past behavior and past outcomes. So I'm making the point to you so that you know we can do something 100 times and it can be perfect until the 101st time. So we can't predict behavior. We can use it as a gauge and we can use it to govern our lives. But we don't know anything. If you don't get anything off of this live, we don't really know anything. We are very intelligent beings, but the predictability of outcomes of things and events that take place in our lives is outside of our control.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
understand that it's outside of our control.
And that's where the faith comes in, Mr. G. And that's what I was talking about. The faith is the action word. And for somebody like you and others at you guys levels, when you say, okay, I'm gonna let this person in the gate. I'm gonna let them in the door. This is the gated community. But you know what? I'm gonna let you in. But when you let the person in, you don't know that they're gonna behave right. You don't know that you're doing it on faith too. And that's what people don't understand, Mr. G.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. But listen, there are many examples of people becoming uncomfortable to realize their full potential. We all know, and it does not escape none of us. We all know that life is full of hardships. But I believe that we all have the strength to get through anything if we're willing to face the challenges head on, and that we have faith and trust in the superior architect of this universe. It can't go wrong with those two things. If you've got the intestinal fortitude to get up and try it, and you have the faith that you've been taught all these years, never exercise it, because it's more popular to say it than it is to believe it. It's more popular to say and quote these Bible passages than it is to believe it. Because I'm going to tell you, just like Keith said in Job, when they say you only have to have the faith of a mustard seed, Job went all out. You know what I mean? And he didn't bend one way or the other. He didn't bend. Okay? So if you truly believe it, there may be some suffering. We know life is full of hardship. That don't mean your life is over. Yeah. And it definitely
I love it. I love it. Oh, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah,
and
go
it
ahead.
definitely doesn't believe it doesn't mean that those things are placed in your path to punish you. See, that's the problem with most of us. We feel.
Oh my goodness. Please focus in on that. Please elaborate and focus in on that. Please.
All right.
Yes. Please
Okay.
go ahead. Yes.
So here we go. When we start going through uncomfortable situations, the first thing that we want to scream, and the first thing we want to understand is, why me? What did I do to deserve this? And I've been doing all these things because I'm telling you, before I elevated spiritually and understand, there's nothing that can waver, that caused me to waver on my faith, because I've been through too much. I've been in Desert Storm and Desert Shield and came home. So, and that's just a small example of me. Think about all these other people. Think about people in these third world countries that have dictators who really, if you say the wrong thing, they can kill you on the spot. Or they can come into your home and break up your family and all these things. So when I look at and reflect on my life, then I know that I'm blessed because I didn't have to deal with these things, even though I could have been put in a pine box too. If there's a storm, there's a shield. It don't compare to those people in my mind because he's taught me how to put things in the right perspective that has to deal with this kind of community every single day of their lives who don't have enough to eat. And we have those experiences here in the United States as well. But just think about a third world country. At least, well, up until recently, we had a democracy that kind of worked. But at this particular point in time, we still have much more to be thankful for. So we all know that there are hardships, but we can get through anything if we have the faith and we have the intestinal fortitude to try. That's when we truly discover our true. When we get past our comfort level, that's when we truly discover our real resilience. Hey, Big Love. Hey, Prince something. Glad you all could make it. Hey, Royal. Glad you
I'm
could make it.
sorry, y'all. The lights went out.
Oh, yeah.
Everything.
We
Everything just
understand.
shut off. So I just kind of came back on what you were saying about people when they suffer, they want to blame other things and say, why do I have to go through this? But I mean, I don't know if you said this, but my response to those things is always, why not me?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
my
Hey,
struggles.
before you move on, when I was in Virginia, I had that on my license plate. Why not? I had why not me? Or why not something?
Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
So, that's me. I always ask why not me. And then that's the only thing that helps me continue to be strong, helps me to learn, and things like that. Things that I have gone through and things that I have had to fight through. I don't even say suffer through because when you say suffer through, sometimes that means you don't make it. But everything I've made it through, so I don't say suffer through. I just ask why not me. And sometimes I'll be like, okay, what's next? What do I need to do next? I try to be optimistic through everything. Everything that I'm doing. There's something positive in everything. If you got a wash machine but you don't have a dryer, at least you got something to wash with. If you got a home but your lights off, at least you got a home. So I just the things that I ask is why not me, and okay, what do I need to go through next so I can appreciate when I finally get to the top of where I'm supposed to be, or get to where I'm supposed to be. I can appreciate all the little struggles, all the little things before, so that when I get to the big things, I know how to handle the big things.
Well, it's a word called gratitude. That's when you're thankful. When you're grateful for the small things that don't amount to much in your life from your perspective. But here's what I try to caution people on. People will say that they're grateful and that they're happy and they believe. People say it. I believe it is more to make them feel better a lot of times. When I say I'm grateful, I stand on it. When I say that my faith is unwavering, I stand on it. So I'm not, because I understand life. I understand what it's about. My life ain't mine anyway. I didn't create myself. So when I look at it from a perspective and put things in the right direction and give the proper homage and the proper accolades to who deserves it, no matter how much money I have, no matter how good we look, no matter how big my house is, how many cars I drive, I'm a small seed in the midst of all of this. So I don't give myself that much credit, right? because I understand that if it wasn't for my faith and my beliefs, because everybody's promised the same thing, but because I have strong faith, the things that I wanted and the things that I worked for materialized in my life. So don't just say these things. Say them and stand on them. Don't let anybody deter you. Don't second guess yourself. If you feel you deserve a Bentley, I don't care if you're driving a two-seater 1950 Volkswagen right now. You got to stand on that and believe that's what you deserve. And I guarantee you, you'll get it. If that's truly what you want.
Shoot, you better act like you driving that Bentley. I be shine that thing up. You better shine that thing up and act like you driving a
That's
Bentley. 'Cause
exactly right. And what I always say, if you can't manage $100, you can't manage $1 million. People, oh man, it makes a big difference. No, it don't. It does not make a big difference. You can't manage 100, you can't manage $1 million. All right. Now, so we just need to be willing to go outside of our comfort zone so that we can grow. Now, let me explain. Why is being uncomfortable all the time not a good idea? Why is being comfortable all the time not a good idea? Hey, Tanner. Hey, Jory.
I mean, if you're always comfortable all the time, you'll never want anything else. And that's the thing about life. You gotta want something better. You gotta wanna, you gotta wanna be better. You gotta wanna go to the next step. The grand architect didn't put you here to stay in one spot. I mean, the earth don't stay in one spot, do it?
Exactly
I mean, so if everything that he has created outside of you moves and is continuous, then you must be that too. You must be continuous. How are you going to build yourself if you're not? How are you going to make yourself better if you're not? I don't get that at all.
I agree with you 100%. Hey, what is that? Rudolent and Digibook Bazaar. Hey, glad you all can make it. All right, let me say this. Let me explain to you why being comfortable all the time is not a good idea. Number one, to me, without even thinking about it, is boring. It should be boring. Anyone with any degree of mental toughness ought to be able to exist without the things that they like the most. Let me stump my foot so y'all can write that down.
Say that again. Say it again. Say it again loudly. Say it again. Say it again loudly for all the people on the live. Everybody that thinks they heard something, say what Mr. G is saying again. Say it loud, Mr. G, and say it proud.
Anyone with any degree of mental toughness ought to be able to exist without the things they like the most. Now, for at least temporarily. That don't mean you have to abandon all your luxuries. That's not what I'm saying at all. But if you have mental toughness, you don't mind not having that Bentley because it got tore up. That's where these people who are so materialistic and they get caught up in this material world and have little and weak faith. They want you to kill you if you scratch their cars. Or if you do something, step on their shoes, they want to, go to fisticuffs. So if you have any kind of mental toughness, you ought to be able to do without the things you like the most, at least temporarily. We should be able to go without our comforts for a little while and still be okay. I ain't gonna say I had to sleep in cars. I ain't got no one of them stories where, I could really make up something. I remember one time I first got introduced to the music industry. They was trying to create a story and make it seem like I ain't from poverty. I'm from the suburbs. So we can't make up that story to sell records. Everybody ain't from that place. I
Yeah,
ain't from.
I'm not from poverty either. We came up in the suburbs. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I made that point is because that's what they like to kind of formulate because for some reason people love a rags to riches story. They don't want to hear about someone who had an advantage because their parents worked hard. I know people that discount you because your parents were educators or your parents made it and were doctors or whatever. They discredit you, and you ain't have nothing to do with that. That don't mean I can't fight. You know what I'm saying? Just because of that situation, just everybody from the hood
That don't mean I don't know the streets. That don't mean I can't fight. That don't mean that I won't beat you up because you think you from the
absolutely,
street, and now I'm gonna beat you up because you underestimated me. Oh my goodness, I love it.
absolutely.
I love it. This is what I'm talking about.
Hey,
I love
Keith.
it. I
Hey,
love
Keith.
it. I
Check
love
this
it.
out. That
I love it.
we've got this preconception and
I
this
love it.
preconceived idea that if you from the hood, you tough.
I'm gonna
Man, I
beat you
don't
up
fought,
if you from the hood.
look. I don't
Depending on who
fought
you are.
many
If
people
you
from
come
the
at me,
hood.
I'm not looking for a problem, though. That's the thing. I'm not
Right,
looking for fights, not looking for problems, not looking for whatever situation. But if the
right.
situation becomes, okay, now I have to choose whether I'm going to have to, okay, well, just like you said, now you got to choose. Now I got to defend myself. So now
Yeah.
all bets are off.
Oh yeah. And
All
I'm
bets
gonna
are
do
off.
that to the fullest because
All
number
bets are
one,
off.
I feel that I'm a protected society by God and by my military training. So I feel I'm kind of protected. And so if I can't do what I need to do, then I fail my brothers and the camaraderie that we developed in the military and in life. I don't ever want to disappoint anyone. That's just me. I don't want to disappoint anyone. So if I've been through all these things, people say, "Oh, well, you should be able to do this." Yes, I can. Yes, I can. But anyway, being uncomfortable is how we grow. We have to learn to stretch ourselves. And what I mean by that, we have to stretch ourselves outside of that comfort level where we don't have any discomfort at all. If you look at a rubber band, the purpose of a rubber band ain't to be comfortable in this current state and position. You twist it around and you hold things together, you stretch it. It serves its purpose then. And such as our lives, we have to stretch ourselves so that we can serve our purpose and become higher level beings instead of just average people who are existing just to exist. It's how we condition ourselves to be able to deal with future difficulties. Because we've already discovered that life is hard. We're going to always have difficulties in our lives. So when we get outside of our comfort zone, it teaches us to deal with future difficulties. When we're in our comfort zone, we're not challenging ourselves at all. That's why I say it's impossible to grow and maximize who you are if you aren't willing to get outside of your comfort zone. We're just not learning anything new. If we're comfortable, we're not learning anything new. We're not growing as individuals. And we're not preparing ourselves for the future. When you go through, and what they say, when you go through some things, you've gone through some things, and them things that they don't seem as scary in the future. And I can equate this to, like I said, Desert Storm. When you get ready to deploy, that's the most frightful and fearful thing in your life. When you know you're called upon to give your life for something. And you don't even know if it's a good reason or not. But you know that you took that oath and you're supposed to do this and blah, 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 blah. But once you go through it, that's why you have so many people return and go back. Yeah, they love the art of war. They love combat. They love that because they've been through it. I guarantee you that first time for everyone is the most fearful thing that any man, woman, or child can experience in their lives. I can guarantee you that. Now, there will always be moments of discomfort, no matter how much we try to avoid them. There will always be moments of discomfort in our lives, no matter how much we try to avoid them. And that's a good thing. Difficult situations, they are good if they're used properly. And if you look at it properly, discomfort, or when you're uncomfortable, it's a sign that you're alive, first of all, and that you're growing. So when you're uncomfortable, that's a sign that you're alive and that you are growing. It's a tool of discipline.
I just believe.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
go
I
ahead.
was just saying. I just believe the more uncomfortable you are and the more you fight through it and make it through, the greater the victory.
Absolutely.
Because you know what, you can't expect a big victory with a small fight and throwing in the towel and this, that, and the third. So I just feel like the more you fight, the more you are humbled too by your experiences, the greater the victory. Because a lot of people feel like, oh, I'm doing everything I need to do, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm still not getting it together. I'm still not winning, because you have to humble yourself.
Absolutely.
When Kendrick Lamar said, "Be humble and sit down," sometimes you actually have to be humble and sit down and sit back and look at things, because when you're not and your head is so full, so full of yourself, you miss everything that you might be doing that's dismissive or being ungrateful or unappreciative. So you have to get to the point where you realize that you need to be humble, and the bigger the fight, the bigger the victory. That's just how I feel about it.
Well, I agree with you, DeJoya. I think the one thing that people have to understand is everything that you said is 100% A1. It is on point. Take what DeJoya said, follow her. But along with that, the reason that you have to get what she said is that you have to understand that faith is an action word. So when DeJoya talks about faith, it means that you can't taste, touch, smell, see, hear, all the five senses that are related to what we gauge things on. So faith is an action word. So everything that DeJoya said is based off of that point where you've let yourself go. You're focused in that spiritual realm. You're on the right frequency, and then you move that way. Correct me if I'm wrong, DeJoya.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna allow somebody to tell. A lot of people allow other people to tell them what they deserve or don't deserve.
There you go.
Or if you get it, well, why didn't I get it, or why didn't they get it?
Right.
It's not for them.
Right.
Nobody can tell you what you do or don't deserve other than the grand architect
There you
himself.
go.
You know what I mean? And his denial might not be saying you don't deserve it. His denial might be a redirection in order for you to get to where you need to go. Because so many times we're human and we want certain things, but because we don't get it, and we're talking about being uncomfortable, we keep doing everything to get it, and it's still not working because you're not listening to God's redirection.
DeJoya.
Sometimes.
DeJoya.
Huh?
Sometimes, and most times,
Yeah.
this is me. I don't believe in God is denying you or God's
Yeah.
denials. I don't
Right.
believe that God denies what's supposed to be positive. I believe in the fact that there's cause and effect, right? And the universe is about frequencies, as you know. So I don't believe that God denies you. I don't believe that when something doesn't come to you, is God denying it to you. I believe that you have to reevaluate what exactly is it that you're trying to manifest. Because if God was denying you, how does he give it to somebody else on the other side? Like, how does that whole thing work? You understand what I'm
Well,
saying,
that's what I
Joya?
said. It's not so much as denial, it's redirection. Sometimes we
Okay.
want to go which way we want to go to get to where we feel like we need to be. And
Okay.
sometimes that's not how it works.
Right.
Sometimes you actually have to go through the channels that, he set for you. He put the blueprint out for us. We can't go and make corrections, take our pencil, cross out, get the little compass and change over to this. I know I
Get
want
the
this,
protractor, right? Yeah, get the
yeah. And
protractor,
so
right?
sometimes, people do
Mhm.
that. And so you think that God is telling you, oh, you can't have this. No, it ain't that. He just telling you you're gonna go back in this direction right here.
So you're saying the
This
same thing
you
that I was saying. So we're on the
yeah,
same
yeah.
Yeah,
frequency.
you all
Okay, there we
saying the
Yeah,
go.
same
So you're
thing.
that
saying the
way.
same thing
Yeah.
I'm saying. So we're on the same frequency. There we
Correct.
go.
And it's
There
Correct.
we go.
and
Thank you. There
simply
you
put,
go.
it's
Very,
just
very
that.
well said, DeJoya. Very well said. Yeah, there
And
you go.
simply put, it's not that he's taking anything away from you. He know that you aren't prepared to help. So why would he
You're
give
not
you
ready.
something that you're going to lose?
You're not ready. There you
As
go.
I said, he's always preparing you for something you're not ready to
There
handle
you go.
right now. So
100%.
you just have to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Melissa. Hey, Melissa. Hey,
Same
Big
page.
Love.
Yo, DeJoya, you A1. You right on point, my friend. There you go. Dart.
And May, thank you
Bullseye.
so much for the light. And
Bullseye.
Jafitas, thank you. Thank all of you. Okay, so we've got that established, and I think it's undeniable that you have to become uncomfortable to become a version of your higher self or to reach your full potential. So it's a tool of discipline and a clarifying force. That's what it is. When you take away what is not essential, the important things stand out. When you take away what is not essential or what's not important, the important things stand out. It's only when we are stripped of our usual comforts, all the things we use to protect ourselves from in the difficulty and the difficult aspects of life, we can truly get to know ourselves and discover what is really important to us. Again, remember I was talking about that camouflage, all of that materialistic stuff. It ain't until we elevate and get uncomfortable, get rid of that stuff, at least temporarily, mentally, so that you can find out who you really are and what is really important to us. We are judge-making machines. We judge people. We judge all the time. But if we're not careful, we will spend our time proving to ourselves that our judgments are correct. So if you don't ever challenge yourself, anything that you say is not challenged, anything that you believe is not challenged because you're comfortable. So you're going to start believing everything that you do, say, and think is correct. And one of the problems with that is that we are making one-sided observations. If we're not willing to grow, if we're not willing to understand another person's perspective by getting outside of our comfort zone, the only thing we're doing is making a one-sided evaluation. And what good is that? Nobody cares. You're the only one that believes you're living in your own little bubble. So you got to get out of that mindset, as we said earlier. Now, here's some things that we can do. And here's where things get real wild and uncomfortable. When we start sharing our judgments, that's when it gets uncomfortable. When you start sharing your judgments, we share our judgments,
Yes.
i.e., being brutally honest, candid, transparent, authentic, we open ourselves up for a new shared experience. We open ourselves up. As long as we keep it to ourselves, who cares? Nobody cares at all. But when you open yourself up and you share those judgments, now you're about to get judged. Be careful who you judge, because you'll be judged next. When this happens, we grow personally and we have the opportunity to grow with new relationships. Now, we're about to close, but let me say this. How do we practice being uncomfortable? All right? If we want to build muscle, what do we do? If we're trying to build muscles, what do we do? We give our muscles what? Resistance. You don't build muscles by being comfortable. You give your muscles resistance. The very act of making our muscles struggle, because that's what they do when we're lifting weights. And when we're trying to grow muscle, we make them struggle. It forces our muscle fibers to get stronger. If we want our car, our
Muscle
bicycle,
memory. Muscle memory.
yeah. If we want our car or our bicycle to move forward, then our tires need what? They need friction. Friction.
Bro, I know you want to ask no question about no cars. When I'm on this line, I was like, what they need? Traction? What? I'm trying to figure
In order
out.
for your car to go forward, it needs friction.
Shout out to Joy. You know, Mr. G
Well,
is BMW
I'm
guy. I'm a
glad
BMW
you
guy.
know,
Me and
because
Mr. G are BMW guys on here.
Oh
We're
yeah.
baby, I
BMW
be having
enthusiasts.
listen,
I
I
am a
got
BMW
drivers.
enthusiast. What you
Oh,
saying? Huh?
I got drivers. Y'all
yeah.
drive.
Oh, you
Oh,
got
I got
drivers.
drivers.
Oh, my
oh
bad. You
yeah,
got
we
That's
good.
drivers.
She big
different.
money.
My
She big money.
bad. You
Oh
got
yeah.
drivers. Okay. Okay. My
So
bad.
listen. So let me say this: friction and discomfort provide opportunities for growth in all areas of our life, including our personal lives. There are a lot of ways to allow yourself to feel uncomfortable, and it largely depends on your perspective. So you can feel uncomfortable. You can mentally train yourself to feel uncomfortable because it depends on your perspective. For the average person, climbing Mount Everest would be extremely uncomfortable. However, for someone like a Denali Park Ranger or someone who, and they typically live near the summit or a mountain climber, it might just be another day at the office. So it goes to perspective. The average person trying to get to that top of the mountain, they may think that that's very difficult. But for a Denali Park Ranger or an enthusiast who loves mountain climbing, they will meet it head on. They'll meet that challenge and that level of comfortability head on like it's nothing. Now, so uncomfortability is found at the edge of confidence. It's when you question whether or not you can do something. That's when you're uncomfortable. When you question whether or not you can do something. For me, this is where I have to decide what makes me uncomfortable, and then I push myself. I believe I can do it. All I have to do is attempt to try. So a lot of people don't get to that level of understanding. I believe I can do it. I trust that I can do it. And if I trust, I'm going to prepare properly. I'm going to make sure I learn as much as I can to reduce the probability of that failure. That's what intelligent people do.
See, we cut from the same cloth because sometimes when I
Absolutely.
do stuff, and you know this, like
Oh
somebody
yeah.
say, "Oh, you can't do that." how do you know you can do it? What I always say, because I could see it. I could see it in my head already.
Yeah,
I could see it,
yeah.
and some people,
She
when I
say
say
that
that to
all the
them,
time, Keith. I can see it,
I
and
do.
that's good.
But I do, and I do it, and I do it. I
He
do it.
says it all the time. That's why the three of us are connected. She says it all the time, and I believe her when she says it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
and I
actually
do
trust
it.
her. I actually trust her spiritual discernment
Right.
when she says, "I see it." Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I do.
I do. I tell you, I see it, and I can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it may not be the way that it's panned out to the normal
yeah,
person or how you would go by the directions, but I'm gonna tell you, I do it. When I tell you, oh, I see it, I could do it. I could do it.
yeah.
I do it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Salute to you. Seriously, DeJoya, you a gangster. We already know you're a gangster on the line. We give you respect. You a gangster. You can grab a pot and beat somebody's head in. We already know that. You a
All right,
gangster.
watch out now. See, I've been being good lately. I've been being good because I
No,
had
we
to go
didn't
out
say
and
you weren't
listen.
being good. No. Don't get violent because
Listen,
I'm giving you the kudos that you can be violent. I'm saying
no,
you're not being
listen,
violent right now.
but
So
listen.
I'm saying you're not being violent right now.
Yeah, I'm
And I'm
not.
giving
Tell them
I'm
I done
giving you the
changed my
respect for
hat.
that. You can be violent, right? You understand what I'm
Okay, I
talking
done.
about?
Yeah. All right, I done changed over now. I've been having to go speak to these children, and in my leadership mode, in my mentorship
Yeah,
mode. So I done
yeah.
changed a little bit to next year.
Things didn't change a little bit. You gotta be relaxed. Just chill. It's called, remember in different words, say relax, relate, release. Yo, just relax, relate, release. Like, hey, it's not that serious. You know what I'm saying? You can actually chill. You don't have to actually go through all this. Right, Detroit? I'm just saying. Just relax, relate, release. That's it.
Okay, relax. All right, I'm doing that. Okay, go on. I'm
Relax,
going.
relate, release.
All right.
Just release.
Okay.
Let it
And
go.
let me go ahead and close it out. Hey,
And then Mr.
Leia.
G can close it out. But enjoy it. Relax, relate, release. Let
There
it
you
go.
go.
Let it go.
I'm going. Okay.
Leia, and I heard you, and Angie, how are all of you? Glad to have you. If this is your first time, please come back. We love having all of you, and we especially want to thank our special viewer and guest tonight, Fox News. Thank you for stopping by and checking us out, and we hope you enjoyed it. All right. Now, okay. So
Mr. G, you said Fox News is on here right now?
yes, they are. The logo and everything. So,
Wow.
all right.
Okay.
So, hey, we doing our thing. So, and we enjoyed it. So the word gets around, man. We are genuine in what we do, and we love doing it, and we love everybody that's part of our family, and we keep it moving like that. Okay. All right. So anyway, in conclusion, I'm gonna say this, like the old folks say, troubled times don't last always. They say that troubled times, which is true. It took me a long time to process that and understand exactly what it meant. Now I know what the context is and I understand it fully. Tough times don't last always. The same is true with being uncomfortable. So we can wrap our brains around a small degree of uncomfortability and understand that it doesn't last forever.
Tough times don't last, Mr. G, but tough people do.
Amen. I was trying to think of it. I knew you'd come up with it, Keith. I knew
Tough
you
times
did.
don't last, but tough people do. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm not trying to jump in. We're
Absolutely.
teammates, right? Tough times don't
Absolutely.
last, but tough people do. Peak to peak principle. Let's go, people.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that because I needed that. So the same is true with being uncomfortable. There are only two outcomes. There are only two possible outcomes. Either it will force us to grow and become better, or we will adapt and become accepted of those new conditions, nothing remains the same. Nothing remains the same. So there are only two possible incomes. Either we're going to grow and accept it and be better by working toward maximizing our full potential, or we're just going to accept it and do nothing. Okay? We have to build that resilience when we're facing discomfort to grow. Now, either way, regardless of how we respond, either way, we will grow and experience something new, and that is what fuels our creativity, our confidence, and puts us on the path to success, or we will simply remain in the same place at the same time with nothing new to experience. All right? So listen, hey, we had quite a few people in here tonight. The numbers kept jumping up and down. We had 1.2, then 1.3, and it went up and down, but we appreciate and love all of you. And thank you all for tuning in. We are here every Wednesday, so we hope to see you all next Wednesday right here on TikTok. So, au revoir, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, and we'll see you all later. Take care.
One love.
One love.